Sibling mentorship. A far cry from sibling rivalry, I must say. A whole new world wherein your children hold each other accountable. They support, they advise, and guide each other. There's this synergy, there's this flow from top to bottom. By that I mean from the oldest to the youngest. A situation wherein there are little or no banters, whining or cursing, or hitting or biting, because a system has been put in place to foster the accountability. Now, the oldest is there for the youngest as much as the youngest is there for the oldest. Is it even possible? Is it achievable? I'd say to a large extent, yes. Remember, on this podcast show, we don't tell you things, we don't conjure things up, we don't cook them up from our imagination and tell you, yes, you can aspire to aspire your desire. We tell you that it is possible. We give you the tool sets and then we guide you to ensure that you get it right. And on that note, I'll welcome you to today's episode of the Larry Brand podcast. We've titled it Sibling Mentorship. It's summer, your kids are going to be at home, and I felt like it's a great time to begin the adventure. Let's call it that, shall we? A sibling, of course, is one's brother or sister. A mentor is one who supports, who advises, and who guides. So a sibling mentor will be that sibling who supports you emotionally, physically, psychologically, shall we say, financially at times, right? One who advises you, hey, that thing you're going to do is not okay. That dress you're going to put on does not fit. Taking that meat from the pot will not go well with the family rules. One who guides, a sibling who guides his or her sibling too. Guidance can be spiritual, can be emotional, can be academic, can be moral. Just think about it. Have you thought for a minute what your life would look like? The peace, the serenity, the time it would give you, the mental energy to free up for you, the space, the declutter to be able to do other things? Have you thought about the possibility of you having such system in place wherein you are no longer a jury or a juror, yeah? You're not the cop, you're not the executioner, you're not the judge. They have misunderstandings and they're able to settle it amongst themselves so that whatever comes to you on top of the hierarchy as the management team of the family is little or nothing at the end of the day. Can you extrapolate and see how it would help or serve them in the future? Wherein let's just say you're not there, okay, in their classrooms with their peers, in their workplaces, in their families in the future. You see that seed, should you begin sowing it now, will have a ripple effect, not just for your home now, for their homes too. You see how it connects to the legacy consciousness we preach so fervently on this show. Why is it important that you start building a sibling mentorship system in your home? Number one, it builds legacy consciousness. And when your children understand that life is not just about today, the actions that they make, the inactions, those things they say, what they fail to even say, their thoughts, yeah, they have they have such massive effect or impact on their tomorrow, on the lives of their siblings, on your family's trajectory in the grand scheme of things. Now, it will shape the way they behave. It will inform them to do better. They will no longer live like they are taking instructions from you. They are living because they are running with the mandate they now have. They are running with the blueprint. Now they'll go with that same blueprint, look at the loopholes, build up on it, and execute that for their homes too, what joy it will bring to you here on earth, seeing them much later when you are a grandparent, nurturing your children because they saw that you did that too. It fosters team spirit. They no longer see each other as me or I, they now see each other as we and us. They understand that when the thumb is hurt, the pointer gets affected, the head gets affected. You see, in isolation, we do not, collectively, right? We do not know the importance of our body parts until one gets hurt in isolation. Begin to see that this thumb you thought was not important or relevant does a lot. Sometimes I wonder personally, how come we have 5 fingers? Like, what's this baby one even doing in the hand? Cut it first and see. Just get a pin, poke yourself with it, and see. What is the middle finger doing, of course, apart from the whatever other people do with it, right? What does it do? Hurt it and see. You'll understand that you can't tie your shoelaces properly without the assistance of this part or that part. See, so when your children understand what it means to be mentors to each other, you are building that team spirit in them. They are able to look out for each other. They are able to support, to advise, and to guide each other because you understand that they are a team. They are not running a race against each other. They are not competing against or amongst themselves, rather they are standing and working together towards a common good. United, they stand, and they understand that divided, they will fall now, we will continue to fall. There are a lot of siblings who grew up many decades later, do not have relationships with their siblings, and then they carry that tradition on to their children too. And their children, now cousins, they cannot even see each other eye to eye. Who has sown this seed? The father, who did not understand what it meant to teach legacy consciousness, or the mother, who was not there to build the skills needed. The next one is it encourages accountability and interdependence. A lot of us do not know how to ask for help. You see, us grown-ups, a lot of moms, especially, they go through burnout. They carry on a lot. They act like Hebrew women. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. The same Christ that God helped with carrying his cross. The same Christ that had 12 disciples, right? The same Christ who has commissioned us to preach the gospel. Like, if Christ did it all, well, what are we doing as Christians, as believers today? If Christ could do it all, are you sure God needs us in the picture at all? What's his business appointing and anointing, delegating apostles and pastors and teachers of his word if Christ could do it all? So when you are pushed to preach the scripture, quote the scripture that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, remember that you are isolating the real meaning of that word, and you are shooting yourself in the leg. So because you were not taught to depend on anyone, you go into family life not seeking for help, not even accepting or receiving help when you are offered. And then you burn out, you're not able to be mentally, emotionally, psychologically present for your children to nurture them adequately and effectively. And what happens? They get starved of the love, the nourishment they would have gotten from love. And they seek for it from the big bad wolves. And what happens? They will huff and puff and blow your house right down because that house was not built on a solid foundation. Now, we don't do this to scare you. We don't do this to make you feel like you're not enough. You're not doing enough. We do it so that you would look really closely, very honestly at what you are doing now. See what's working and kudos, bravo, keep up with it. And look at what's not working and honestly tell yourself, hey, I can do better here. We don't just leave you thinking or hanging. We give you tools that will help you, that will populate your toolbox so that you know how to be better and do better. Good is good, better is better. Best is equally okay. How about excellent? And that's what the Laurie Brand podcast is about, right? Teaching you how to be excellent parents. And what skills do you need to be able to foster sibling mentorship in your children, to be able to grow it? You see, no house, no superstructure can stand without a foundation. And for that system to begin, you don't pray it, you don't wish it. It does not come from wishful thinking or imaginary craziness. It comes from a work, comes from a lot of work, a lot of focus, a lot of determination, right? The first skill you will need to teach your children is of leadership and responsibility. And if you have watched our previous episode on on the lessons to learn, parenting lessons rather, to learn from the TV series Halo, you recall that we mentioned Master Chief, the petty officer John 117, how he modeled that to his siblings in quotes, the silver team of the Spartan system. You see, he was able to lead them right. He was able to, when they knew they could count on him, they knew they could depend on him because he was always there. A lot of us parents, we we have unconsciously drilled lack of integrity into our children. You pick your phone is ringing, you pick it up and somebody asks you, where are you? You say, I did rude. I don't know. Is your bedroom the way to Lagos? Or is there a tunnel in your closet that will take you to Lugbe from Kwaimpa right now? These little things, they seem like white lies that help us get through tiny cracks. But what we don't understand is we are setting the pace for the next generation of very brilliant liars. Of course, they are learning. Of course, they'll take them from you and trust these kids to be very innovative. They won't leave what you have taught them there. They would associate it with other aspects of their learning, and then they'll come up with new ways of doing that life better. So that even your life will they learn for where their life is later. But who has done this? The father who couldn't just bear the responsibility of saying, hey, I'm running late, it would only take me 10 more minutes, or the mom who doesn't even understand what effect that white lie is doing in their lives. Interdependence. Interdependence. We depend on each other for a lot of things, right? So if you are lying and I am lying, how can trust be built? How can I trust you to come and pick me up at 3 when the last time you came at 3:30? How can I trust you to do the things you have said you would do for me when every time you lie about it? You see, they may not have the courage to speak up, but they indeed are learning, and then they are learning from their disappointments too, not to trust you anymore. To be able to foster leadership and responsibility in your children, you also have to be a leader yourself. Let's just call you, right? In life, really, let's just call you their oldest sibling who is modeling these traits to them. The next one will be teamwork and cooperation. A home divided against itself cannot stand. Can two work together unless they agree? For you believers, you know what I'm talking about. How can I trust you to lead me? How can I even allow you mentor me when we don't work together as a team, when we are not cooperating, when we do not even share the same ideologies? I believe in A and you believe in B. I want us to do A and you want to do B instead. You see, by having them do dishes together, by having them clean the table together, do chores around the house together, cut grass together, vacuum together. You are teaching them to work together as a team. Sometimes intentionally, deliberately leave them to do things together and see how that skill is festering. Because at the end of the day, if they don't have enough time to practice at home, they'll go out there into the world during their lunch phases, a phase rather, yeah, phases, because of course we are very many different families, right? They will go and then they will struggle. They must learn to cooperate amongst themselves because the family is just like a microcosm. Yes, not like it is a microcosm of the larger society. Charity, again, they say begins at home, right? Whatever they do not learn and master in the family ecosystem, they will not be able to practice outside the home. The next one is effective communication. How can I effectively communicate what I'm thinking about when I do not have a word, when I do not know how to? How can I tell you you hurt my feelings without making you feel stupid or hurt while at it? How can I tell you that what you just said or did made me feel a certain way when I do not know how to control my emotions? You calm down before responding rather than reacting. You do not teach your children how to communicate effectively, they would not know how to, right? Whatever you do not give, they cannot get. If you don't give it, how will they take it, right? Let's bring that here too. So teach them how to communicate effectively from the home, and they will go into the larger society and they will be able to do the same thing. Executive functioning skills, the ability to solve a problem, make a decision, initiate a task, see it to its logical conclusion. A lot of people start, grown ups, start projects and then throw it out halfway, not because they wouldn't have been able to push through the difficulties or because they don't even know how. Mommy, my assignment is difficult. Just leave it. Just leave it. Why is your teacher always giving you difficult sums to solve? Just leave it. Just leave it. Please, 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 please. Or you bail them out. Helicopter parenting. You take over. You do everything for them. You raise them in a bubble. Who amongst you have seen had no hard feelings? Jennifer Lawrence, a little boy, I think he was 19, Percy, had no social life. Yes, he was very brilliant and everything. Parents raised him in a practical purpose. At the end of the day, he could not function very well, especially in the society. He had to get a girlfriend to date him. Yeah, date him. Why? Why are you doing that for a child you have raised well? The reason why a lot of parents go back, start bailing their children out, even as adults that are now raising children, is because they need to stay rung in the ladder. And that nature does not allow for you vacuum. Whatever you did not learn then, life will demand of its fruits in the future. If you did not learn it then, you go back in time and get it. That's why a lot of people, fathers too, will call their moms to start saying, Mommy, my wife did this, what should I do? They are waiting for instruction. There's a fine line between instruction and advice. Advice is suggesting, instruction is telling, do it like this. And then because they were not taught to executive functioning skills, they were not taught that they could actually solve their own problems by themselves. They go and do things without, of course, you won't tell your mom or your dad the full story, the full picture. They won't know it all. You'll paint it in such a way that it will make you look good. And then when they tell you what to do, it will hurt the one person you're meant to protect with all your life. You see, whatever you don't teach your children not only affects you or them today, affects their spouses or their families tomorrow. Legacy consciousness. The next one will be honesty and self-discipline. We've talked about telling lies before, white lies. I did rude. Sometimes you now have to tell the person, okay, honk or press the horn in your car, let me even hear if you are actually on the way. Because I've said it plenty times. And then 1 hour later, you still do rude. Something that will not take you 5 minutes, not taking you 1 hour. And then because you have said, you see, everything about life is correlated. Because you have told me last week that you did rude, meanwhile you're not there. Tomorrow, if you now tell me that, okay, you will do this, how can I trust you? And you'll be wondering, why does this person not trust me? Because you have a track record of not keeping your word. The reason why most of us can trust God, can keep loving Him, can hold Him accountable for His word is that He has a track record of keeping His word. Once He has said it, He will do it. As I never say, right? We can depend on Him sufficiently because He says when He will do it and how He will do it to the very last detail. So if we make a conscious habit to model after our Heavenly Father, God is our parent too. You see, it'll be very easy to raise our own children. But what model are you following? Honesty and self-discipline. Are you disciplined yourself? Can you give what you do not have? Can you teach what you do not live? You see, you can tell them, hey, be self-disciplined. What they are looking for is, show me how. You cannot tell me be focused when I don't know how to. Mom, dad, what if I came to your house there and told you, fly a plane without teaching you how? And then, can't you fly this plane? Is it not your mates that pilot? You look at me like I'm mad, right? That's how your children look at you sometimes. Self-discipline. What is it? You said you will not eat past 6 p.m. Yesterday you ate at 10 p.m. And you're telling them to be self-disciplined. You registered at the gym. You paid for an annual subscription. And for 6 months, you've not even left the house. You've not left that that couch you're sitting on like a potato. And you're asking them to be self-disciplined. Come on. They are seeing us. They are looking at us set goals. They are seeing us start the year and we call it New Year resolution. Yeah. And we're wondering why they will start their marathons and not end it or not finish it. They'll start their science project and not see to its end. Because monkey is saying and monkey is doing exactly what it's saying. What if our habits were good? And we unconsciously, we've gotten to that state of unconscious competence, and then our children are copying the right things. Just what if? Negotiation and conflict resolution. If I'm able to negotiate with you, we won't have to fight. We'll reach a reasonable, favorable compromise, a win-win solution or scenario, situation. When I told my children to solve problems, I told them I can no longer be the judge, not come report case to me, and not go law school. I can no longer be, no, don't make me your lawyer. I won't take anyone's side. I can't be the cop. Don't come and ask me to arrest anybody. I won't be on the jury. Juror number doubles. I don't want it. I cannot be the executioner. Mommy, can you spank him for me? No. Leave me out of it. I just want to be me. And being me entails that I will first be Lori. I'll now be your mom. I'll now be your father's wife. And then be sister to siblings. And then run the Lori brand and every other hat, wear every other hat I'm wearing. What time do you think, what energy do you think I'll have left if you're always bickering? So let's do it this way. If you have any altercation, okay, let us watch Paw Patrol, for instance. This one says no. Toss a coin. Rock, paper, scissors. We'll fix it. Can we take turns? What you do not understand is it's not just those little squabbles you have in the house. Think about the classroom too. It's time to share toys. Your children is in a situation where it's meant to share with the other person. What you have taught from the house can now get in the classroom too. Can we take turns? Somebody was saying, a mentor of mine was saying the other day, the reason why a lot of men will succumb to the pressure of raping a woman is because they don't know how to negotiate. They don't know how to negotiate. You just, I want what I want and I must get it. With that mindset, they think that they can force themselves on anything or anyone just because they don't know how to negotiate. What's negotiation? You've asked her out and she said no. What's there? Learn to take no for an answer. It's also part of a negotiation system. It just did not work. I'm sorry. Whatever value you were proposing did not match what I wanted. How can you up this value if it's somebody you're interested in? Let's take it to the adult side now. Let's stop seeing them as little children. Let's get into 30 years from now. Those children you are raising now. What value are you proposing? Be my girlfriend? No, I don't want to. Why? Because you cannot lead me. Because you cannot teach me. Because you cannot guide me. Because you cannot mentor me. And because he was not taught to take no for an answer, he thinks that he can now force himself on her. Who has done this? Ouch. The father who did not see the importance of raising children who can take no for an answer, or the mother who sat down and kept crying and my mother was not there. That's why I'm like this. Instead of starting now to begin to be there for our own children. Finally, emotions regulation and control. Everything about emotional intelligence will help your children be better sibling mentors to each other. Throwing tantrums will not help them. Yelling and biting and cursing and forcing will not help them. They need to be able to self-regulate, calm down, exhale, count to 1 to 10, take a walk, talk to a trusted grown up, tell the person how they made you feel right about your feelings. You must teach these skills so that you can now teach them to guide each other. In my home, I have 3 kids like your own, Number 3 mentors, number 1 mentors, number 2 mentors, number 3. Before anything comes to me, you would have passed through your sibling mentor so that whatever is coming up the food chain actually demands my attention. I want to live long enough to do this for longer. I've been a parent for about a decade. Okay, more than a decade cumulatively, yeah. But then I want to do this for longer. I also want to be a great grandparent. If I keep setting bubbles, if I keep allowing all these little tiny trivial many affect the flow of my day, affect my health, how will I live long enough? How will I be present for the more important things? Like I said, we're not judging you, we're not kicking you down, but telling you so that you reevaluate, or giving you skills to begin to do, and then we're finally on this video, I'm going to tell you what to begin doing here and now. First one, yes, we've taught values, of course. That's the community we're in. We have taught a lot of skill sets. We must now consciously add legacy consciousness. Why? Because they should understand that a year is made up of 365 days. Every day adds up. A day is made up of 24 hours. Every hour adds up. An hour is made up of 60 minutes. Every minute adds up. A minute is made of 60 seconds. Every second adds up. 10 years is made up of 10 365 days, right? 30 years multiply 365 by 30. So if you live every second knowing that in 30 years, this second might affect that, you will do better. You make better choices. If you know that your brother would have children tomorrow and your children and his children have to be a united family, you would maintain a better relationship or nurture a better relationship with your sibling here and now. Use mantras. When we're growing up, there's a mantra my dad would always tell us. It translates to, it's always going to be you and your sibling, like all our lives. All our lives. He will tell you, he'll send my brother, you go and do this for your sister. There was a time I had to tutor my younger brother because he wasn't doing so well in school. And at the end of the school term, because his grades improved exponentially, my mom got me this mini oven I've been yearning for. It was amazing. I still have it to date, and it reminds me of those nights I would call him. I can't do it. I'll mistakenly patiently walking through his sums and teaching. Till today, we cannot be stranded because we have a support system. Well, I'm one of 5. All 5 of us still have each other. You know that no matter what, is it for counseling? Is it for guidance? Is it for support? You know that when you reach out to any one of us, we'll be able to be there for you. Even though the 2 of us, me and my elder one, were much older than the younger ones. At the end of the day, whatever seed you are sowing today would definitely bear fruit. I hope that you are doing it well enough so that tomorrow you'll be able to stay under the shade of that tree and even reap of its fruits. And the mistake a lot of parents make is they compare each other. Uh, you are not doing this well. See Cordelia. Cynthia, see how Cordelia say they do that thing. What you are doing is you are making Cynthia loathe Cordelia. You are selling Cordelia as a perfect one. You are making Cynthia feel inadequate, not enough, and then you are killing her self-esteem and you are making her see Cordelia as the enemy. A lot of parents also play her favorite. You favor one more than the other. You are showing them that that's the target. Let's not forget about the story of Joseph and his brothers. What happened? Their father always favored Joseph and Benjamin. He always did. And Joseph, of course, got punished, got sold into slavery, right? You see, these things, Myron Golden says the Bible is not a science. It may be have science in it, but it's not just a book. It may have history in it. It's not just a book. It's a guide for us to live, or for us or how to live our lives. Now, Joseph's destiny was that his brothers would sell him into slavery so that he will meet Potiphar, right? That Joseph you gave birth to may not share the same destiny as the Joseph in the Bible. What happens is that they will kill your Joseph. A teacher reminds me a story, told us a story of some siblings whose rivalry situation was so bad that their younger one was ill. The eldest came to look after the younger one, and then one of them came to see the other one, made food for the older one. I think it's the older one that made food for the other one that came to see the youngest, and the youngest erroneously ate the food without knowing that it was poisoned, and then the young lady died. Another story of one where siblings were fighting and one took a knife, wanted to stab the other one, and mistakenly stabbed one of their parents. That one bled and died. Mommy, come back. If you come back, we'll never fight again. No, we don't inspire fear here. We're just pointing you to how bad it could get. The effects of sibling rivalry can have on your family and your future. And start putting things, modalities in place beginning from now to make sure that you are fostering the sibling mentorship system. Finally, celebrate their wins, their unique talents, capacities, capabilities, attitudes, yes, attributes. Don't say, go and do this because that person did that. Don't praise A more than B for what they both did, for the effort they both put in. Make sure that they see themselves as individuals that belong to the same team, that you love them not equally, right? I learned this very slight difference a while ago, and it made a whole lot of difference in the way I love upon my children, right? That something is different does not mean that it is not equal, right? One plus one is two, two plus zero is two, right? So make them see that the way you treat them is according to their uniqueness, their peculiarities. That you are treating this person this way means that that's how he's wired to receive love and attention. Don't expect that I would do the same thing to you or with you or for you to show that I love you equally. That I'm hugging this person 5 times, it does not mean that I love him more than I love you. Do you get it? Does that make sense to you? That way they will understand that you are doing things to them the way they prefer, the way that is better for them, not because you choose this one over them. You get, make sure that they are seeing that you love them for who they really are, that your love for them is not based on their performance. You don't love them because they scored a certain grade in math. You're not scolding them or holding withholding privileges from them because they are not performing to any level expectation. What this will do is it will grow their confidence and make them not go and act in ways that would make them be seeking approval or validation from other people. They would not want to start performing or acting just so they can be hugged. Love them for their own sake. Not Don't say well done only when they've done something, or I love you because you have done. No, no, no. Love them because even before you met them, you held them in your hands, you spoke to them, you already did love them when they were yet still in utero. Make sure that they understand that whether or not they do something right or wrong, that you love them. Now help them to consciously see that they are not their deeds. In fact, let's take it deeper. The body is not even you. It is a vessel that holds the consciousness, the spirit that is you. So So when they do something wrong, scold them for what they did, not them. Separate them from their actions. So I am correcting you because you did so so and so. That you did it does not mean that it is you. That you made a mistake does not make you a mistake. I hope you've gotten value from this video. And as always, if you have, don't keep us as your best kept secret. Share this video. It's absolutely free. It doesn't cost anything. Instead of judging that parent, help them to learn to. Together, we can ignite this movement and make it viral, make it global, so that we would not just be raising excellent children, we'll be lending a helping hand to our friends and loved ones too, so that we can carry on this culture. And because we are legacy conscious parents, we bequeath it as part of our lasting legacies to them. Thank you so much for always being a very, very huge part of this movement of our journey. Thank you for all you put into consciously, deliberately, intentionally raising the next generation of global changes, firelighters, water walkers. We appreciate you, we celebrate you, we love you, and until our next mind shifting episode. See you soon.